Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final third. And today we are doing our Premier League predictions. Now, we have multiple different topics, as you can see in front of you. The table is right there. And we have different things such as Premier League champion, European contenders, so on and so forth. This video will cover, obviously, different topics, but we want to go through it a little bit quickly because we don't want to drag the video. But we want to reveal the player from the last video.
It was Ginola. I hope you guys got that. Let us know in the comment if you got that. And at the end of this episode, we'll give you another player to guess.
Perfect, yeah. So I said we just get straight into it, shall we?
Yep.
So the first thing is the Premier League champion. Now, let's start. We're going to go in standard circle. So we'll start with Ali, then we'll go with Hassan, then I will finish with me. So, Ali, who do you think is going to be the Premier League champion?
I think it's pretty obvious. I've put Liverpool. What have you guys put?
I've put Liverpool down obviously as well. However, I do think it will be a close season. I don't think it will be, an out and out one horse race. I think it might be a two, maybe three horse race. So yeah, we have to see.
Agreed.
What about you, Hans?
Yeah, I think I put. I hate to say it again, Liverpool, but yeah, like you said, I think Arsenal will definitely challenge a lot more this season because of some of the signings that they've made. Obviously, Liverpool will be more signings. I don't know whether they're going to run away with it this year. The game against Crystal Palace today was quite close. Obviously, finished 2-2, so that means it could be a bit interesting.
Very well.
All the other teams made good signings, but I think Liverpool will probably be the best team. Now, the next section is top four. Ali, who do you think is going to finish in the top four?
Of course, Liverpool because of the champions, City, Chelsea, and Arsenal. That's what I've put. Not in that order specifically. So I was more thinking like Arsenal second, City third. I know, maybe a bit controversial, and Chelsea fourth. That's what I've put. I just think, to be fair, some of the signings these teams have made are just like Chelsea, for example. Of course, they finished fifth. Made some good signings in positions that they needed to boost. With like João Pedro and striker and other players. So that's why I've put them fourth. City again, it's new. It's some new players that they're going to need to gel into the team. I know they're usually quite dominant, but obviously from the fall off from last season, I think it will take them a while to get back up to their dominant form. So so I've put them third. But then Arsenal keeping up with the consistency, made some good signings with Gyökeres and Zubimendi, so I think that will keep them in the race for the title. But I think they might fall off towards the end. And of course, Liverpool the champions. I've already said. So yeah. What about you, Hassan?
I pretty much agree with Ali. But obviously, I think Arsenal and City are interchangeable. It depends on how the individual seasons go. Obviously, City have new players like Shirky. So obviously, like him and a couple of others need to obviously adapt into the team. But I think that Pep could work his magic, and obviously, he knows this. He's had many years of experience. So I think Pep knows the game better than everyone else. So even if he's got new players, he'll know how to gel into the team as soon as possible. But yeah, obviously Arsenal are big threats for the title. Obviously signing a player like Gyökeres for them has solved their striker problem. So they've got more of a chance now instead of getting second place. So yeah, I mean, Arsenal might do it again, but as an Arsenal fan, you'd hope that you win the title after making these big signings. And Chelsea as well in the mix as well, I'd say. But for me, I'd say probably Liverpool, then Arsenal, then City, then Chelsea. Chelsea made good signings, but I feel like Chelsea, as a team, they're very young, lacking experience. So I feel like that lacking experience might, come to bite them back. Because obviously experience is very important, and they've lost, experienced players like Thiago Silva. So losing that experience can, be detrimental to the team. But yeah, no, I think all four of those teams can fight for the title. It's just obviously Liverpool, I think, is on top. They've got a champion, obviously the champions, like reigning champions, and they've made very big signings. So yeah, I think they'll still be on top. What about you, House?
My top four is pretty standard, to be honest. I think that Arsenal will finish second. I mean, obviously Liverpool first, Arsenal second. I think Chelsea will finish third, and Man City will finish fourth. I think Man City made good signings and all, but I think Chelsea, they're going to have so much confidence now because of the Club World Cup. They've beaten teams Like they beat PSG rather convincingly. They've made great signings in terms of
Mm.
they've improved their squad depth. I think that Joao Pedro is going to be unbelievable. Jamie Gittins is a good player. They've already got a good squad. They've got a solid midfield. They've got Casido and Enzo in the middle of the park. They got Reece James, fantastic right back. They've just got a great team. I just think that Man City obviously are fantastic, but again, Rodri's out injured for like a month. To be fair, not too long. But if they lose Rodri for a while, then that could affect them. But yeah, that's my top four.
Yeah, we saw City how
And
they struggled without Rodri as well. So
Mm.
if that comes to bite them back, then it could be big trouble for them. But yeah, we have to see,
exactly,
to be honest.
exactly.
Injuries can affect any team, to be honest. If you've seen Madison's injury, and I think recently another player got an ACL injury as well. Not sure who it was. I forgot. But yeah, Madison's a big loss, especially for Spurs. But yeah, no, we just hope for most teams that injuries is not a big problem.
Yeah, 100%. I guess injuries. Yeah, you can't control them. If it happens, it happens. I think every team gets injuries, but obviously some teams get more injuries than others, and it's affected teams throughout their season. But let's go on to the next category, and that's relegated sides. Ali, who do you think is going to get relegated?
Yeah, so like there's been a bit of a pattern over the last few seasons with promoted teams getting relegated. Now, I know quite most seasons, people tried to like predict maybe one of them staying in the league. Of course, we did see it with Forest. A few seasons back, they've stayed in the league and they've done well. So I've gone Burnley, Leeds, but I think Sunderland will stay, and I've put Everton to get relegated instead. So Burnley, Leeds, and Everton. Sorry, did I say I put Everton? Sorry, I made a
Burnley
mistake
and
there.
Leeds.
I put Burnley, Leeds, and Brentford. Sorry, not Everton. Apologies about that.
Okay.
I put Brentford, not Everton. I was originally going to put Everton, but I remember now I changed it to Brentford. Yeah, so I've put that mostly because they lost Thomas Frank, lost Mbuemo. I've heard some things about possibly even Wissa leaving, and of course Christian
Nordgaard
Norgard.
as well.
That I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
he was their captain. So yeah, sorry, apologies
Yeah.
about that with the Everton, but no, yeah, put Brentford. Sorry. Um, yeah. What about you, Hassan?
For me, I've went, pretty boring, but I mean, I think it'll be expected. Burnley, Leeds, and Sunderland. Obviously, Sunderland made good signings, but I feel like because not all their players know what it feels like to play in the Prem, I feel like they'll lack that Prem experience that will benefit them a lot. Burnley have played in the Prem last season, so I feel like for them they have that experience. Leeds, they weren't too long ago in the Prem, so I feel like them two teams will be probably like 18th, 19th, but I feel like yeah, Sunderland will probably 20th. So yeah, but I just you never know, to be honest. In football, anything
Mm.
can happen. We saw the shock season from United and Spurs. So at this point, any team can get relegated if you don't play well enough and try to win every match. But yeah, no, I just as I said before, yeah, it just depends on how the players can cope with the Premier League, and it is a struggle for teams that are recently promoted. The difference between the spending for the bigger clubs and the smaller clubs, is a huge factor in that. And yeah, but even if you've got smaller players and that, you can still put in a shift and get a performance against the big team. So yeah, we'll have to see how the games go. To be honest, how about you, Carlos?
Um, yeah, relegated side, kind of standard, I guess. I got the kind of the same thing as Ali. Burnley, Brentford, and Leeds. I think Brentford just everything's just gone bad for them this transfer window. The manager's gone, goalkeeper's gone, captain's gone, best player's gone, second best player's probably going to go. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not going to be easy for them, They've made, okay, I mean, Kelleher's a good signing as a goalkeeper. Is he ready to step up as a number one? We'll have to wait and see. Um, yeah, I think Brentford are going to have a very good season. Even if they don't get relegated, they're not going to have a good season. This is what I believe,
100%.
obviously.
Yeah, I agree as
I
well.
think Burnley haven't really done enough, and Leeds, to be fair, they're not bad. I mean, another club that I think could probably be in the relegation battle, probably Wolves. But I think those are the three for me. But I actually missed a section, and that was fifth and sixth. So we're gonna have to go back to that now.
Yeah.
Ali, who do you think is gonna finish fifth and sixth?
I've put which I don't want to do, but Spurs, and I've also put Villa. Now the reason I put Spurs is because some of the signings they've made, even bringing in a new manager. Of course, I did think it was a bit harsh sacking Postecoglou after winning the Europa League, but I can understand. Obviously, the league form was awful, so they had to they couldn't have that carry on. So they probably took a page out of United's book when they obviously didn't sack Ten Hag, so they probably learned from that, by sacking Postecoglou and bringing in Thomas Frank. Of course, they also brought in a man that I don't want to say his name, and they brought in they brought in a couple more signings as well. And I just think that they can't do as bad as last season. Of course, I just can't imagine them being down there in the relegation battle again. And to be fair, I just think with those kind of players that they've signed, that they will just really boost them to do well. And I don't know. I just got a feeling with them. I think Thomas Frank can really get them going. They already have a good team. Players like Doggy, Van de Ven, Kulusevski. I just think these players will, with Thomas Frank, can really push on and do well. And that's why I probably put them sixth, and then Villa fifth. I think again, so the reason with Villa, I think they're a good team. Of course, there were rumors about losing certain players like even Watkins and Martinez, but it didn't happen in the end. Well, for now. So I think they keep some of those players. Not really. I don't think they really brought anyone in. So maybe we'll have to see till the end of the transfer window whether they do that. That can further give them was it a chance of getting into the top six. But yeah, with Unai Emery, I just believe that they'll still be a great team and be competitive and get fifth place. So yeah. What about you, Hassan?
I've put down fifth and sixth as Man United and Newcastle. The Man United shout is just, obviously I'm a United fan, but it's more of like like an optimistic view on the situation. I feel like with the signings that we've made, obviously now Benjamin Sesko, on top of Cunha and Mboma as our signings, and potentially also signing a midfielder, that could open up the possibilities for us to actually finish quite high up in the table. But obviously, that's very optimistic, as I admitted. But I feel like United do have a chance of doing well this season. I just think it depends on the mentality of the players and how much they want to do well. Because obviously, it was a very tough season for us, Man United fans. We went through a lot of highs and lows. Mainly lows, obviously. But yeah, I feel like United. I think they're starting to show signs of wanting to do better, wanting to play for the manager, and yeah, as Amram said, hopefully the storm is gone now. He said at the beginning there'll be a storm, and I just hope that as the season progresses, that the storm doesn't come back again. And I feel like United will finish probably above Newcastle, and that's on the basis that if Isak leaves Newcastle, if he finds a way to Liverpool, then I feel like Newcastle are just they're going to struggle a lot and may potentially not even finish sixth. So, but I've put them there just in case Isak does stay in Newcastle, which I think he might do, but Liverpool might bid later on in the transfer window. But yeah, no, I just think that United could potentially finish, but it's a bit of an optimistic shout. For me, if we finish the top half of the table, I'm happy, but we'll have to see. What about you, Khalas?
Um, I think for Man United, the standards are on the floor. But again,
100%.
same type of thing. I've put them in the top six. Now, I don't actually think we will finish in the top six, and I put it there more optimism. I think we'll maybe finish seventh and might get Conference League, which obviously is terrible for a club of Man United stature. But I also put Newcastle fifth because I think even if they sold Isak, they will have 150 million to spend. So they're probably going to get Wissa, and obviously he's a very proven player, can get goals. I'm not saying he's anywhere near the level of Isak, but if he's a good player, so I expect him to come in and do okay. They've also been linked with a couple of other strikers, so they could get two strikers with one going out. I'm not obviously even those two strikers probably won't be able to replace Isak, but if they can get a good goal scorer in, then I think they can do well. They've got a good solid midfield. Tonali, Joe Linton, and Bruno Guimaraes. It works very well. They brought in a new centre back, bought Ramsdale's a goalkeeper. I don't know how well he'll do at Newcastle, but yeah, I think he can do okay. With United, like we said, it's a bit optimistic. I actually think we'll finish in the top half of the table. I think we have to, with the amount of
Yeah.
money that has been spent. But I think our new front three can definitely work well with each other. I think they can. Again, it's on paper, but for me, I've seen Cunha play a lot. He's a good player, carry the ball very well. And Buemo can create chances, can score chances.
Mm.
And those chances created by Mbuemo putting in those crosses, I think Sesko, with his jumping ability, is unbelievable, and heading ability, I think he can definitely get a lot of goals in that sense, and his movement's quite good for a young player. So I think United can finish sixth, maybe seventh. But yeah, that's my fifth and sixth positions. Now we're going to go on to the top goal scorer. I don't know what you think, Al. Who have you put?
Look, I've put Haaland. The reason I've put Haaland is because, with the signing C, I've made like Ryan Cherky and Tijani Reinders and stuff. I think, I think that will work well for Haaland with the chances being made. Um, of course, they have lost De Bruyne, who's a very pivotal creative player for City. But I just think, Haaland's such an elite goal scorer. And, with the team, Pep's teams and the way they create chances, I believe if they can get creating chances like they did the previous seasons, then I can see Haaland just going on a madness goal scoring wise and just being top scorer. What about you, Hassan?
I put down Holland as well. As we know, he's a great striker. Like there's nothing much to say about Holland. Um, even in City's terrible season, he still manages to bag above 20 goals, which is very impressive. Like if either one of our clubs, our strikers scored 20 goals, we would be like on our seats jumping. But Holland's had a very quiet season, but he still had a very good season in terms of numbers. For a bad City season, he's still done relatively well. So I think you can reliably say that Haaland might be one of the top scorers. You could put Gyökeres in there, but I feel like Gyökeres is a new player, so I feel like he kind of lacks the Premier League experience as Haaland already has. So I feel like it is a bit of I say like an optimistic shout to put in someone like Gyökeres. Isak is also up there as well, but I feel like yeah, for Holland, for you to say Holland is how do I say, it's more of a safe choice to be honest. You know that he can bag goals for you, even if he gets half chances or sniff at a goal, like he'll just score it. So yeah, I feel like Haaland is definitely in the conversation for top scorer. What about you, Charles?
I honestly think it's going to be Gyökeres. I think obviously Haaland obviously is up there. I mean, he always gets goals, especially in a team that creates a lot of chances like City do. But I think Arsenal, if you watch them the last couple of seasons, they really and truly, the only thing they've been missing is a striker. That's what all the Arsenal fans have been saying. And if you watch the games, they score loads of goals as it is. Like they've demolished teams 5, 6, 7-0. Do you know what I mean? They already get loads of goals. And a lot of their chances that happen for the striker, don't get me wrong, Havertz done okay. Jesus has done a job, but they're not 1v1 clinical finishers. I think that Gyökeres coming into this team, a team that does create a lot of chances, have players that can create chances, and Saka, Odegaard, you know, even Martinelli when he
Rice as well.
the one time in the game where he puts his head up and puts a cross in, yeah, he does good, and they've got a very good team in terms of that. I think Gyökeres is just a solid goal scorer. I really wanted him at Man United, to be honest, and I'm not going to change the fact that he's gone to Arsenal. Right, I'm happy with Sesko, but I think Gyökeres is a fantastic player. He's proven in Europe as well. He scored, like we said, he scored a hat trick against Man City. You can't take that lightly. Um,
100%.
I just think
Yeah,
that if he gets chances, he will score. It's as simple
my
as that.
point
And I
is that
think,
before I want to cut you off, just my point is that with Gyökeres, obviously he needs to be in sync with the whole team. Obviously, if he's not, had enough time to, adapt to the team, it's gonna be difficult for him to, be in sync with Saka, Odegaard, time his runs and whatever. But he did score a brilliant header the other day. I mean, yesterday, pretty much. So I feel like yeah,
what
like
I'm saying is,
Gyökeres,
a player like
he has a
Gyökeres,
chance.
I think what I'm saying with a player like Gyökeres, he can score any type of goal. Obviously, we saw with the header, he can score tap-ins, he can score long shots, he can dribble, he can run at a man, he's quick. Like he's got all the attributes to be a top
Yeah, I
striker in
agree.
terms of in the league. So I just
Mhm.
think with the chances that can be created by Arsenal and Gyökeres being able with the movement and everything, I just think he can do very well, and I honestly believe he'll be the top goal scorer. Now we're going to move on to best signing. Ali, who do you think will be the best signing this summer?
I've put Ryan Cherky. I think we saw him in the Nations League, even against Spain. He's an exciting player, young, very skillful, very talented, and I think Guardiola, with a player like him, can really make him maybe, of course, not to the level of De Bruyne, nowhere near, but be that player for City this season. In terms of creating chances and being that creative outlet for City. And I just think he will be an amazing player to watch on the Pep Guardiola, and with the other players that they've brought into the City team, and of course with Haaland up top, I think it will just be an amazing player to watch, and I think he'll be the best signing. Listen, right, you got some.
I've put Gyökeres down because I think Gyökeres, obviously, as Harris has mentioned, he's a world class striker. He can do it all pretty much. And for the price that Arsenal got him for, as a United fan, I'm a bit jealous as well. We did get Shesko, as Hal said, but obviously you can't compare the two. Gyökeres has scored 54 goals last season and had like 20 assists. So, Shesko doesn't get anywhere near to Gyökeres in terms of numbers. Obviously, he's younger, but yeah, Gyökeres has been a fantastic signing for Arsenal. It is basically the missing piece of of the puzzle. So I feel like that is what Arsenal needs. As Hollis has said, they've been missing that striker, and lost a lot of potential goals because of that. So I feel like, yeah, for what Arsenal needed and for the price that they got him for, yeah, I think that's definitely the best signing this season. What about you,
Personally,
Carlos?
I think the best signing. I'm trying not to be biased here, but I think Brian Mbeumo. Like I've watched him play for Brentford, and we've all seen what he can do. He scored 20 goals last season. Obviously, I wouldn't say it's a freak season, but probably was because I don't think he'll score that many goals for Man United this season. But he was known for putting in the most crosses. Now, I think he will get a lot of assists because I've been thinking about it a lot. A player that puts in crosses like that for a striker like Sesko, who I mean, I saw a clip of him the other day playing basketball and dunking. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got a
Yeah,
hell of it. Like he can dunk. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? That's how good his jump is.
it's
Do you know
very
what I
He's like
mean?
good.
six
Yeah,
five as well, to be fair.
He's six
yeah,
five.
he's got that
Obviously
build.
got a hell of a jump on him. His header is got good movement for a young player, and I think he'll improve, especially with players like Cunha and Mbeumo. I just think Mbeumo can do it all in terms of an attacking sense. Can create, is quick. I'd probably say he's quite strong for someone his size because I don't want to say it, but he's kind of got the Hazard build, with like the bomb situation. Like he can kind of push players away with his. It's true. Like with it,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
that
He's quick and
physicality.
he
Hazard
Yeah,
can use
step
his
in it.
bomb. He can kind of use his bomb to sort of like
Yeah,
push players
just
away.
push
I'm not
people.
going to say
Yeah,
he's,
yeah,
in terms of
yeah.
like shield the ball in that
That
sense, right?
physicality that he has. Yeah,
yeah,
Physical,
yeah.
exactly. So I
He's
think
very
he can get a
technical
lot
as
of
well, to be
assists.
fair.
Exactly, the technical player. He can do. I think he's one of the best wingers in the league. And
Yeah,
whether you
100%.
like me saying this or not, he kind of does remind me of Mo Salah as a player who can score. He's left-footed, right
Yeah,
winger.
cutting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Cut
yeah,
in,
yeah,
score. Like,
yeah.
yeah, and he's obviously prem proven, which obviously does help with Man United. So if we do finish sixth, or finish in European position, I think he'll be a major, major part of that. Now we're going to
I
move
agree.
on to the opposite of what we just talked about, the worst signing. Ali, who do you think?
right. Don't shoot me, right? Don't get angry at me. But I've put a bit of a controversial one. I've put Sesko. Right, and you're gonna have to hear me out on this one, yeah. Right now, the reason I've put Sesko is, as we've seen
To be
with
different.
some of the few United strikers that have come in, they just can't handle the pressure of the badge. Hoyland, and not just the striker, but like some of the players that have come in, like Anana, Anthony. I think these players they struggle under the pressure of being a United player, and I don't know, for some reason I could just feel it happen again with Sesko. Um, yeah, to be honest, I just don't think he'll be able to handle the pressure, and I think it'll be like a whole Hoyland situation. And I remember when Hoyland got signed and the amount of hype the United fans were giving him, right? And then of course he did flop. I
I
just think
think
it will
it's some.
happen
Can
again.
I just say one thing about the
Yeah, go
Hoyland
for it.
situation? In Man United fans' defense, we were waiting for a striker for like a young striker. We hadn't signed a young striker in years, so we got gas just seeing him score some tap-ins for Atalanta.
Yeah,
Do you know what
fair
I mean?
enough. I get that, but like at the same time as well, I also don't think, which isn't his fault, but the price tag, I don't think that can even help either. Now, again, with Hoyland, he had a high price tag, which wasn't what he was
It
worth.
was the same. It was the same price tag, I think. The
That
same like
right.
overall package.
But you know what I mean? Like we all know Hoyland was never worth that much. And I think that can really affect someone's like because they believe that now they have the pressure that they have to live up to that price tag. I think it might happen again with Sesko. I think again, I don't think he's worth how much was it? Like 70 to 80 mil that he was paid for. I just don't think he's worth
Whoa,
that
whoa,
much.
whoa! No, that's not that much.
What,
Yeah,
what,
no, what
Hoyland?
80, 80,
You talk about Hoyland?
85,
No,
85
Sesko.
million euros, which is about
Oh, Sesko.
70
Around the same
overall package,
range.
70
Yeah.
something million pounds. Yeah,
But there you go. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that can, I think that will affect him and make put even more pressure on top of being the United striker, which is it's going to have a lot of pressure because the fans have really been looking out for this striker that can be quite lethal. So I think all this pressure could possibly backfire on him and just make him not perform well and be the worst signing. That's why I put him. Bit controversial, but that's my take. What about you, Asen?
So, like, just as a follow up, I think that Hoyland's situation is kind of unique because he didn't really have a backup striker that he could learn off from. He said himself it was a very difficult season for him because United basically relied on him to, score the goals and everything, and to be that number 9 striker leading the team. So I feel like you can't really put the blame on him. He had a very good first season for a 21-year-old. So I think it's just a dip of confidence and also too much pressure on him being the outlet of goals. So I feel like you can't
the
really put
lone
the blame on
striker.
him.
There was no competition. Yeah,
Exactly. Xerxes is not an actual out and out number 9, so there wasn't really a competition with him. So Xerxes is more as a number 10. He was played the number 10 role in Amrim's system, so you can't
I mean to be
really.
fair, now that we're talking about it, I mean Hoyland, it looks like he might leave actually because
True,
apparently
he
Man
might
United
go
are
to AC
pushing him out.
Milan.
He might go
Yeah.
to AC Milan on loan, but
Amrim's also trying to push him out
and
as well.
I'm not sure about that. We don't know exactly what it is, but I mean he's being pushed out either whether that's by Amorim
He
or whether
wasn't in the
that's by the
squad.
club.
He
No,
was in
he
the
was in
squad
the
against
squad. He
Fiorentina.
didn't play. He didn't play. He was on the
He wasn't
bench.
in
He didn't
subs
play a single
either.
minute.
Was
No,
he
he
not?
wasn't the subs. Yeah. He didn't play though. He
Because
was in the
apparently he
subs
wasn't
though.
in the squad.
No, he was on the bench, but he didn't play a single minute. But my point is, is the reason Hoyland failed at Man United was because he didn't have any competition, and that
100%.
got to him.
Yeah.
Hoyland actually said he wants competition, right? Sesko
At
comes
first
in, and we
place.
want to get rid of Hoyland.
Yeah.
So I think preferably I want to keep Hoyland and then let them fight out between themselves. Obviously, I think Sesko's the better player and probably would be the striker, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think we should just
Yeah,
let's
you want
just
to
move
move
on
on
because
to
we
Yeah,
can
so
talk
on
about
about
this for
who you
ages.
guys have put down?
So on about my West signing, I put down Madueke. He's a good player, but I feel like he's not what Arsenal needs. Because he's a right winger, right? Saka, there's already Saka. You've got Ethan Waneri as well, who's arguably better than Madueke. So you could play Madueke on the left, but he's left-footed, so it doesn't really make sense why they've spent 50 something million on him. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad player by any means, but I don't think he's what Arsenal needs. I think that money would have been better spent on like Eze or someone else. So yeah, I feel like it's just a waste,
Not bad.
But yeah, I feel like he'll be good, but he won't be pushed to his full potential because Saka's going to take a spot. But yeah, what about you, Carlos? What do you think?
Honestly, I think not for any particular reason. There's not really you can't really point out a massively worse signing. It's kind of harsh, isn't it? Because obviously every player comes in with a bit of hope. You hope for the
And
players to do
excitement
well
as well.
and a bit of excitement. Yeah, but for me, I think it's going to be Liam Delap. Now, not for any particular reason. I just think that he won't get much game time because I think Joao Pedro's on fire, and Chelsea's front line is stacked. They have so many attackers. Obviously, they may not
Too
have
many
many
attackers,
strikers per se. Too many attackers. You can see them being pushed out. Like even with Jackson, Sterling, and all these lot go. Joao Felix. They have too many players.
Yeah,
Way
that's
too many
also a good
players.
shout to be fair.
I think. Yeah, just because they have so many attackers. I'm saying like obviously Joao Pedro is the best striker they have. I think Delap will get game time because obviously they're in the Champions League too, so they'll have a lot of games to play. But I just don't think, as a striker, you need confidence. You need to keep on playing games and score goals. Like we talk about Hoyland and Sesko. I think it's more like Sesko will be the starter and then he'll come off the bench. I think Joao Pedro is so good. I think he'll probably just keep Delap benched And I think he's one of those players, like we know Brazilians, they're very, it's a bit harsh, but they're passion merchants, right? So they just keep on playing and they're just so energized and they just keep on going. So I just think Delap won't get enough game time to show what he's all about. I think if he went to a different club, like even Man United got linked to him, he could have done a bit better. But that's my opinion. Now we're on to player to watch. Who do you think of?
Look, now, of course, there's been many great signings and there's many players that have improved and stuff like that. Gone a bit of a weird one, bit of a bias, my club, but I've put Fulkrug. But you're gonna have to hear me out on this one, right? The reason I've put Fulkrug, you're just gonna have to hear me out, yeah. Look, the reason I've put Fulkrug is just because the way I've been watching him in the preseason, like he's looking a lot leaner, he's looking a lot more clinical.
Wow, he lost weight. Great.
Whoa, he's just looking a lot more clinical.
He did his job. He did his job as an athlete.
Look, I didn't want to be boring.
Yeah, literally, professional footballer earning. I don't know how much a week.
I
saw Roy Keane,
that's just gone down.
He's going to be better than Sesko, so it's all right. I'm not even worried about it. But
whoa.
Okay, let's see.
Hey, we'll see. Don't worry about it. Anyway, look, I didn't want to be boring and put someone like, I don't know, flipping Gyökeres or this or that. I wanted something a bit different. But so from what I've seen, I've just enjoyed watching him, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. So that's why I'm saying he's a player to watch. Look, now you guys can let me know what who you've put.
I think personally, well, sorry, I don't mean to cut you or Hassan off, but I'm just saying, surely a player to watch is somebody that is kind of new to the Prem. I just think that it's just not a great opinion from you, Al, to be honest. I just think it's a bit biased.
I think more than bias. I think this thing about player to watch having to be someone new is just not right. It's not true. A player to watch can be someone that might have improved even during the preseason. You might have watched them and think they've improved. Yeah, and you think, that might be a player that we need to watch. Simple as that, like. But anyway, that's why I put Fulkrug.
I respect it, but I just think it's a terrible choice. Yeah, so carry on. Hassan, you go.
Mate.
Fair enough. Yeah, what I want to say is everyone's entitled to opinion, but it doesn't mean your opinion is. It doesn't mean your opinion is good or valid, but you be you, I guess. But yeah, for me, my player to watch is Florian Wirtz. Obviously a big signing for Liverpool, very talented player, very young as well. So, is it obviously I'm a United fan, but it's exciting to watch a player like him, see what he does in the Prem. Very impressive in the Bundesliga. Had big performances as well. So yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Like, he is a talented player, but obviously there are some element of doubt as well. Will his price tag affect how he thinks about like his mentality in Liverpool? Like, is he afraid of his price tag? Will that drag him down? We'll have to see, to be honest. But he's an exciting player. He's shown a lot of talent. So I have hopes for him to be a good player. But obviously I don't hope that he becomes a very good player because he's a Liverpool player. But I think he's a great player, and it'll be exciting to see what he does.
Yeah, he is a great player, isn't he? But I just think I think I'm going to be a bit more excited with my player to watch, and that's Estevao, Chelsea, Brazilian winger.
He scored his debut, right?
For me, he scored on his debut. I just think, right. For me, there's not really. If you think of Brazilian wingers, the best Brazilian winger I can think of in the Prem, off the top of my head, is Willian. Right? I don't really know many Brazilians that have succeeded on the wing.
Anthony, bro, Anthony the GOAT. What are you on about?
Shut up, don't get me started on that guy, bro. That guy's finished. I mean, in the Prem, okay, fair enough, he developed Batiste, but bro, he's dragging it now. Just leave. But I just think with Estevao, he's young. He's done it. He did it in the Club World Cup. He actually scored against Chelsea as well. I think with Estevao, I want to see flair, because I think the Premier League has just become robotic.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Pep's done fantastic, and he always does well with this, but he's made the Prem robotic because everybody seems to copy his style of play of play out from the back, pass it around for a bit, pass and make a goal scoring, a tapping, We want to see a bit of flair. Do you know what I mean? I think
counter-attacks,
Brazilian counter-attacks, I guess. But
I think
for me, I just want to see a player.
Players running at defenders, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think with PSG, they sort of showed that you can do that against Premier League teams with obviously all their attackers. I think Estevao, quick, brilliant dribbler, And obviously, he's highly touted by Brazilians to be that next big thing. And I'm not going to say he's going to be anywhere near the level of all the Brazilian legends like Neymar, Ronaldo, Brazilian, Ronaldinho. But I'm just like saying he just gives me that vibe. If he can succeed and become that winger that can sort of excite, that's why I think he's the player to watch because I think he's in a very exciting signing. And yeah, I guess that's it really. Um, Next, we're going to talk about the manager to watch. Ali, who do you think that's going to be?
I hate to say it because it's a club that I don't like in Spurs, but I think Thomas Frank will do well for Spurs. We've seen what he can do with such a like with Brentford and the players that he had there, and I think he's got a much better team at Tottenham. So I think with Thomas Frank's tactics, I think they'll thrive. That's why I also put them in my top six. And could have put like some boring managers to watch, like Slot again, or like Guardiola, something like that, or even Moresco with Chelsea and the signings they've made. But I thought, no, let me put Thomas Frank. I think he'll be exciting, and I think he can really just improve that team drastically at Spurs. So again, as much as I hate to say it and hope they don't do well, but I think they will under Thomas Frank. What about you, Hassan?
For me, I put down Ruben Amorim. It's nothing to do with me being a United fan, but it's just
Really?
he's refreshing to listen to. He's very honest. I already love the man. Like he's just brought some sense into my club. Like I actually look forward to the post match conferences because I just know he'll be honest, and if he has to dig out a play, he will. And you felt like Ten Hag was a bit, how do I say, he's too media friendly. He wasn't honest enough. The media absolutely hounded Ten Hag. But I feel like Amrin, because he's shown to be a bit blunt, a bit honest, the media respects him. He's had the full backing. He came in at a very chaotic time in November last year. So I feel like now that he's had the preseason with the squad and had a relatively decent backing from a very bad season, I feel like he has a chance to prove that he's the man for the job. He said himself he wants to be here for the next 10 or 20 years. So he's not just here to have short-term success. He wants to do a Sir Alex Ferguson, and I believe he can do that. But obviously, it requires a lot of patience from the owners, and hopefully they give him the time. I believe he will hopefully bring us back to the top. But yeah, you just need to give the man his players and his time. But yeah, with the new players that he's had now, we have to see how United finish. What about you, House?
I actually have put Ruben Amorim as well. Now, honestly, get rid of this badge. I can take it away right now. It's not the reason I'm a United fan, right? I think most people will say Ruben Amorim for the sole reason United had probably the worst season they've had in over 50 years last season, and that was under Ruben Amorim. Obviously, not the whole season, was in a summer transfer window and all that, but it was under Ruben Amorim. And obviously, he was saying that it's expected to happen that we're going to have a bad time. Um, Obviously, he's been backed, got a new attack. Looks like they're going to go for a new midfielder, and well, we've been linked to Carlos Baliba, but we'll have to see what happens with that
Maybe
deal.
Donnarumma as well.
Maybe goalkeeper. I'm not going to say Donnarumma because that's a bit extreme, but
We'll
I
have
think
to see. Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see who we sign
Yeah.
from now to the end of the season, but I think we will sign more players. I think if you look at it and compare it to every other team, I think United, let's say, who was it that got relegated last? Southampton. Obviously, they had a terrible season. But when you compare it in terms of club stature, club revenue, club all this, club all that, wage, transfer fees, everything in general, stadium, stature, fans, everything, United, in relation to their size and in terms of their wage and everything together, I think they had the worst season of any Premier League team last season. Easily.
100%.
With respect to what they are and what they pay and what they do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you think about it, because obviously they finished terribly in the league, 15th. I know Tottenham finished below us, but they beat us in the Europa League final.
Yeah.
So we lost the European competition. We didn't do well in the cup competitions. We finished really low in the league. So it was one of our worst seasons ever. Now Ruben Amorim believes he can do well. Like you said, he could stay here for the next 20 years. I don't actually believe that. I just think the club's a mess. I really hope it is the case, and this is a turning point. We've got a new training ground and all that, but it's so hard, this club. there's too much pressure. Like Ali was saying with Sesko, it's too much pressure. So let's see if he can do it. I really hope so, but
I think he can do it.
we've been kind of
To be
burnt
honest.
before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think he can do it, to be honest. He just seems like he's got the right mindset. He knows what he's dealing with right now. He's not expecting, a stellar season next season. He knows that it's going to require more than 1 or 2 seasons.
I just
He's already said himself, it is crazy to expect us to win the league anytime soon, but just give the man time, honestly. That's what I think.
Hmm.
I just like just
What about you,
that.
Ali? What are you going to say?
No, just to add to that point, like, of course, like Carlos mentioned, what I mentioned about the pressure, stuff like that. Now, I do think United have changed their, like, kind of like the philosophy in a sense, like, with the fact that I don't think they'll sack him
Like
straight
the
away like they
culture.
did with, sorry, the culture, philosophy, culture. Like, I don't think they'll sack him
Yeah.
straight away like they did with Ten Hag if it starts to go back towards the start of the season. I think they'll learn from that and realize it's not you know what I mean? It's clearly not the manager, and so there's no need to sack him. Um, but I do think it will be a struggle to begin with. Like, I don't think it's gonna just the season will start flying. And I've seen the fixtures United have to begin with, and oh my god, it looks
That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
That's why it's.
that's
That's why
true.
we're saying he's a
I mean,
manager to
Arsenal to
watch. Do you know what I
begin
mean?
with,
He's
you know what I
got a
mean?
bad run of games. Do
He's
you know what
got
I
a
mean? If
good
he
So
job.
starts the
Yeah,
season bad, it could affect the
yeah,
squad
exactly.
mentality.
That's my only thing. That's why
yeah,
I
I agree
just
with that
can't.
as well.
That's why I didn't put him
So
down. You know what I mean?
it's that's what I'm saying. It's the most interesting sort of situation. Man United, let's be honest, they're the biggest topic in the Premier League right now with transfers. Generally,
Everything. Yeah, yeah.
obviously, last
100%.
Of
season,
course,
everything. Even Liverpool. Let's be honest, we were the most talked about team because we had such a bad season. Even though Liverpool won the league, we were the most talked about team
of
because we're
course.
massive, and
Yeah,
that's true, right?
yeah.
So Ruben Amorim's got a hell of a job on his hands because some fans still expect us to be pushing for the title, which is insane. You
Uh,
can't
Yeah.
think that.
typical deluded
I
I
think
think
United
pushing for
fans.
Europe is. I might even be pushing it, but
I think the ex-United players also make it worse for us as well because they expect United to be at the top and whatever. But you have
It's
to be
just what they're
realistic. You know
used
what I
to,
mean?
isn't
Like
it? But
you can't turn around this short amount of time.
they can't accept what United are now from what they were when
Of
they were
course.
playing for United. You know what I mean? I think some of them just can't
Yeah,
accept
of
that,
course.
and I know it must be a bit hard because it's a club that they loved and they played and fought for, like, in a way. You know what I mean? But yeah, they just need to
Yeah.
just update their thinking. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway, yeah, that's that.
I think we could talk about Man United for hours because they're a massive topic. We can talk about them
Yeah,
for
it's not my
ages. But I
United
think we need to.
video, to be fair.
I think we need
Yeah.
to move on. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's move on to Player of the Season. Ali, who do you
Yep.
think?
To be fair, I've put player of the season Salah. Yeah, for Salah, I just think he's so consistent. I know it's a bit boring, but every season he always gets like kind of a bit of criticism, and like, oh, is he getting a bit too old? Obviously, even with like the whole contract situation last season, whether they're gonna give him one on all this, and people calling him like, oh, he might be getting on. It might be the end of like his that run of form. I just think he's so consistently good that I can see it doing again for another couple of seasons, to be honest. And I think he will. I mean, look at what he did last season. Nearly broke the goals and assist record. If I'm correct in saying that,
Yeah,
nearly did all
but he
joint
got
top.
both. He got most assists and most goals. So
Yeah.
Yeah, insane
So
season.
I just like
do you know what I
I
mean?
can't imagine him dropping off too much. And with the signings they've made, I think that can only really help the team and himself. So I can see him like just having the same kind of form, and yeah, just player of the season for me. Yeah. What about you, Hassan? Who have you put down?
I want a little interest in here. I put down Bukayo Saka. I think he's a top player. He can cut inside. He's got good vision, good passing, good finishing as well. I think Saka was an unfortunate season from last season with the injuries and stuff. He showed promising signs, and after his injury, he came back, and Arsenal were a changed team when he came on. So I feel like Saka does impact Arsenal a lot. Without him, Arsenal are not the same team. Obviously, Waneri, did it. He had a few good performances here and there to cover for Saka, but I feel like Saka is the main man for Arsenal, and I feel like
Yeah.
they need him. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well he does. He's put up good numbers in the past, so I think this potentially could be his best season. We'll have to see, to be honest. And with the likes of Gyökeres, he's going to get more assists now. So yeah, even the link-up play with Gyökeres, I think that will heavily influence his season. So yeah, it'll be interesting. And also Saka grew up close to where I am, so I do have some sort of like connection of like with that as well. So Yeah, no, I just I wish the best for him, just because he seems like a decent lad as well. So yeah, I wish the best for him.
I think for me, Cole Palmer as the player of the season. I think
I
he
like
is a
that.
fantastic player. He's a very likable person as well. Like he's just like just doesn't care. He's
Yeah, to
just
be fair.
like, let's be honest. He's not the
Nonchalant.
bright. He's like, nonchalant. This is
Yeah,
no disrespect to him, but he's not the brightest bulb in the room. But
or
in
sharpest tool
terms
in
of
the shed.
football, yeah, exactly. But he's not. Yeah, but that's not
I
what we're
think
here
that's
to
what
talk
makes
about. We're
him
here to
like,
talk about his footballing ability.
Yeah, how
Exactly.
good
That's what I'm
is that
saying.
football? Yeah,
those interviews where
Exactly.
he
His
clearly doesn't
interviews,
have
yeah.
any PR training. You know what I mean? And just
But
mixing it
again,
with
that's
funny
not the reason I
moments.
picked him as player of the season. The
Of
reason I
course,
picked him as player of the season, I think he's a fantastic player. You look
yeah.
at the Club
I
World
agree.
Cup final, I think he performed on that major level against
That
PSG, who
first
just won
half,
the
that first
Champions
half was
League.
impressive.
Very
Yeah,
impressive.
From
100% by Chelsea in general,
yeah,
but I think he was calm and composed, didn't worry about playing against the European champions. He just slotted that ball in the bottom corner twice, the same goal.
yeah, that was
Again,
impressive.
do you know what I mean? No pressure at all. He doesn't feel the pressure. Fair play to him. He is Cole Palmer, right? Um, yeah, that's true. And like I said,
It is,
the
it
young
is.
team around him, they made very good signings. Obviously, the midfield behind him is very good. I think Enzo and Casido can give him the ball. And then he's got Joao Pedro in front of him. Like we said, Estevao, uh, uh, Pedro Neto, sorry.
Even
Jamie
Gittins.
Gittins,
Yeah.
potentially Xavi Simons and Alejandro Garnacho too, going to Chelsea, which screw that fraud, Garnacho. You know what I mean? But we move on.
Yeah, he
I
can
think
piss off. Yeah,
in terms of Cole Palmer, he's a fantastic player, and he proved it. Not the season I just gone, the season before that, that he's one of the best. And I think now he will start to step up because I think Chelsea will do very well this season. But let's go on to young player of the season, and this is the last category, by the way. Ali, who do you think?
Right, so I've put a player that Carlos has mentioned before. I've put, how do you say his name? Estavio? Or Stavio? I'm not really too sure how to say his name. But I put
Estival.
him.
Estival,
Apologies.
Portuguese.
Esteval. So I put
I hope
him.
that's how you say it.
Now, Carlos has already talked about Esteval, so I don't really think I need to talk too much more about why he's an exciting player. But yeah, I just think with the again like Chelsea are a very exciting team. I think they're going to do well. I'll put them third, and I think he might shine in that team. I think because they're all young, it helps for them like for him to shine. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I just think I think he'll be the young player of the season. And again, same reasons Carl said for why he's probably a nice player to watch. Don't think I need to add anything more to it. What about you, Hassan? Who you put?
I've already mentioned this player, but Florian Wirtz. Obviously we know him. He's world class talent. I feel like he's got a big season ahead of him. So yeah, just we'll have to see what he does. We all know about his talent, and hopefully his talent, translates to good performances on the pitch, and how much he, influences Liverpool to win the league. But yeah, what about you, Khas? What do you think?
Got a bit of a rogue one. I mean, I think a lot of people know he's a good player, but not many people actually know who he is, right? He's just come into the Prem, played for Sunderland. His name's Chris Rigg. Now, I'm not sure whether many of you have heard of him, but he
Yeah.
played for Sunderland at 15, and I think he scored on his
Okay.
FA Cup debut, something like that. He is a fantastic player because a lot of people actually watched Sunderland last season because of Joe Bellingham. Obviously, Bellingham family doing well and all that. Obviously, he's gone to Dortmund. Um, but Chris Rigg is seen as like their sort of how do you say it?
Rookie or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
The
something
main
like that. No,
main man.
sort of like their academy player that's going to come through and
Yeah.
be their main man, right? So
Rashford
let's say
maybe.
Bukayo Saka. Yeah, Bukayo. I'm going to go
Declan
with Bukayo
Rice,
Saka for
like
Arsenal.
Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Declan Rice for West Ham. But yeah,
Yeah,
obviously, I
yeah.
just think Chris Rigg has got major potential. I think Sunderland will do well this season. I don't know whether they might still be in and around the relegation zone, but I think they will stay in the Premier League, and I think he's going to be a big part of that in terms of he's going to play a lot of games. I think he's a creative outlet. Obviously, he's an attacking midfielder. I think he's a great player in terms of for someone so young and being able to perform with the physicality of the Championship. I think he's going to come into the league, and he's already a very technical player. And I think, obviously, if he improved his physicality in the Championship at 18, he's going to come into the league and sort of not take it by storm, but I think he'll do very well and will be a big part of why Sunderland do stay in the league. So that is the list over and done with. So guys, that's the end of the video. In terms of our lists, I think it was very interesting. Maybe you guys will agree with a lot of it, but this is our opinion, and we put it across to you guys. Let us guys know if you agree with some of our opinions, and let us also know if you disagree. But we can always be excited at the end of our videos because we have Mr. Ali to come in with a quiz. So go ahead, Ali.
Right, got 5 facts again. Let's start with the first one. His first ever professional goal in England came in a 4-0 win against Brentford in 1998 while playing for Millwall in the old second division. The second one. He scored in the 2004 FA Cup final against Man United, but his team still lost 3-0. Third fact, he once received a yellow card in the Premier League for revealing a shirt paying tribute to his imprisoned brother after scoring. Fourth fact, his famous volley against the Netherlands at the 2014 World Cup was nominated for the FIFA Puskas Award. Fifth and final fact, he is one of the few players to have scored in the Asian Cup, the OFC Nations Cup, and the FIFA World Cup. Now let us know if you know who that is in the comments below, and we will reveal him in the next episode. There you go.
Personally, I think the younger fans won't be able to get this. I think, like, if they're,
It's not
let's say,
meant to be easy,
15,
but anyway.
it's not. Yeah, it's not definitely not an easy one. Yeah, but thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate it. Please make sure you leave a like, subscribe,
Leave your predictions down below
and
as well.
leave your predictions down below as well if you want to get involved too, which we'd love to see, and we'd love to interact with you guys. But yeah, so we need you to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so whenever we upload a video, we'll let you guys know. And actually, in our next video, we'll just give you a little preview. We're going to be doing our game predictions. So obviously, the coming weekend, we'll see what we think is going to happen. So we really appreciate you guys for coming. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.